All right, welcome back to Daybreak. This is the tail end of the show. Just want to spend a few moments concluding the show and want us to focus on the story that happened a week ago. The Employment and Labor Relations Court reinstated Nairobi County Assembly Speaker Priscilla Nyokabi, who is here, and it would suggest that she should now resume her duties at the Nairobi County Assembly, but the leadership there has said that they will not allow her in. I don't know whether you have a personal statement before you delve into this.
Well, I'll say this. We will obey the court orders. We will do it with respect and dignity. I know in politics the people say there is no dignity. There is what we call dignity, but you deal with it. And therefore, we are on recess. So I should not be shouting. And anyway, I've said to myself, can I be Kibaki? Kibaki taught us lessons, and Meshuki taught us. So I'm going to use those two wisdoms.
Do you think
to ensure that you know, one of the things we cannot bring is drama in Nairobi. The president will be wondering again, are they normal? That is one thing we are not going to do. So I've had everything. I've had even it is not a toilet where people walk in, walk out. So I wondered, was I once in a toilet? Are they in toilets themselves? Because when you tell people, and by the way, when you hear somebody using toilet, then you don't respect. That's the most important institution that we respect, even in our homes. It has to be the most cleanest. Yeah, it defines you.
Right.
That one that you think is not right, the toilet, defines you, who you are. Okay. So if you don't have a clean toilet, then you have a problem.
All right.
A big problem.
Right. The court ordered that you should get back to your office and that you should get all benefits that have been withdrawn in full from the time you were impeached on September 16th. And now you're saying that the House is on recess. So when do you resume? We
resume when we come back. Parliament is on recess.
You'll actually preside over the first session after recess?
I don't want to say that, because one of the things I'm not going to do is to do what I know Chapter 6 tells us not to do. I will go there, and that's why I've said with dignity. You go to the police, you tell them I was given this order, let's respect this order. If we arrive there and you have people who want to do hooliganism, we will leave them and we will go back and say, look, we did our best and this is what happened. I mean, in a more, that's what we are saying as Kenyans. Can we change all this and stop using hooliganisms? Won't help us. And I just want to tell them, by the way, if God defined Priscilla Nyokabi will work in Nairobi County, do you know he will open a way and we will work there? He will remove any obstacle. But yeah, they should be knowing that, because I always tell people, you are not the one who creates. You are not the one who says today you will be in Citizen.
Do you think you are reinstated because the court said that they cannot be found meddling on legislative process rather, or just simply because MCA's reason could not hold weight?
No, but you see, I think what the courts did, they looked at all the merits. And one of the things we were challenging, we were not saying it is wrong for MCAs. First of all, remember, they have a right to impeach you, but in the right way. You cannot change your standing orders in 30 minutes and use it to suit you. And you cannot tell someone, in 30 minutes, you must face the judicial that is going to judge you and to come in and now defend yourself. I think that is what we were trying to just prove, that it should not be a precedence where and it's not just for Nairobi, I think it's for now all the 47 county assemblies that just follow due process. You have been given. It's in the County Governments Act. If I have misconduct, use it properly. Because you are a leader. Tomorrow you will be the same will come to you. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Of course, the members of the county assembly are threatening a standoff. They're saying they'll not allow her back. So how do you resolve that? You speak of concession. How do you resolve that sort of standoff that exists?
It's a bit of a difficult situation. I think now with the court order, you know, there hasn't been sufficient respect for court orders, but we're hoping that Elachi and the government is going to give her the facilitation required for the enforcement of that court order. But the regret is larger. Is Elachi targeted because she's a woman speaker? Are we finding space for women to work in the assemblies? We are, as the National Gender and Equality Commission, we are in court in Nakuru because of the de-whipping of MCAs. All the female MCAs were de-whipped at once and removed from positions of leadership, removed from positions of committees. And so I think the larger question is, do our counties provide space for both genders to coexist and work and put together the agendas that is required? Going forward, the speaker's removal is going to need a Senate eye. There's a bit of law reform there to be done because, you know, the governor's removal does not end with the assembly. The governor's removal goes up to Senate. So I think we might need another level of protection because of this problem of MCAs. Once they remove, I think that shouldn't be at the end. So if there's a law reform, that removal should actually be taken back to Senate so that it's not as easy as the way they make it sound. But with good protection of the court order, it should be enforced. I mean, everybody works courtesy of the Constitution. The MCAs are there because of the Constitution. The Speaker is there because of the Constitution. But, you know, Kenya is one of those countries where katiba iko huku, na sheria iko huku, na the reality iko huku.
But I think dialogue is the most important thing.
I think without knowing the details of why we had to get what had happened in the county assembly and why they had to go to court. Just listening to the leader of majority last night and the leader of minority in the county assembly of Nairobi, I just smelled too much impunity. Impunity because as Kenyans, we keep on talking about corruption, we keep on lynching people who are corrupt, we keep on wanting actions to be taken against corrupt people, yet in our own environment, when you promote impunity or when you act, you show impunitive actions, even against the law, for example, against the judgment that was given, and swear that the speaker will not work in, the speaker will not come back and work in the county assembly. Even you, on your part, you cannot be said to be free of corruption, you know? So I just think that Kenyans, as much as we want to uphold high standards for our leaders and for people who are above us, as Kenyans in our little dockets, we must also do what we need to do. If this is what the court says, you must abide by it. But you have another recourse. You can actually appeal against the ruling, if you so wish. But you cannot threaten and say, oh, she will not come back, and if she comes back, you know, just like I was talking about the governor of Turkana. It's impunitive to actually stand there and talk politics and just disregard the fact that your people are dying and asking you, what are you doing for us? But choose to ignore that and just choose to then talk about politics. We cannot be we cannot act. I've given up. Let me keep quiet.
It's okay, Rosa. Of course, several views.
I think we, as Kenyans and as individuals, we are responsible also in our small dockets to actually do what we expect the government to do, or what we expect leaders who are above us to do. We must be held responsible in our own dockets. Just like we expect the government, we expect to hold the government accountable, we also must be held accountable. If the court says the speaker has to go back, let the speaker go back as you pursue an appeal or as you pursue other channels. But the speaker need to go back if that's what the court has said. All
right. Of course, several views around that. Priscilla Nyokabi says that the speakers of the county assembly should be protected through the impeachment being checked by the Senate, but some would argue that the county assembly hires the speaker, so they have the right and power.
But she's also right when she's saying women seem to be targeted, because that's the same thing that's happening in Homa Bay. It's not only in Nairobi, but also where you have Speaker Ayo also being stopped from going to do her job, despite the fact that the court order was that she should go back to work.
Okay, all right.
But because the political process is better that it goes to another level. You can't be the judge and the executioner. You know, now MCAs, they fire, they are the complainants, they are the ones who, you know, handling the removal. That's why it needs another eye that is not within the complaint process.